I think one of the key points was that we redesigned our organization to kind of match what I call the flywheel of innovation. Many organizations have R&D and they have marketing, and they are separate organizations, and someone's supposed to invent it, and another person's supposed to sell it. And it's a much more important thing to understand, what is the timeline of innovation? And do we have people that are focused on the very long term, that 5 to 10 year window? And then do we have others focused on the more immediate, and then those that are actually bringing product to market in a live stage? And so I'll actually ask you, Andy, just flip to the next page. What we did, and this is a nice little image that's also in the book that Andy mentioned, but you take these R&D and marketing teams, and what we were able to do is get to an early stage innovation group. Who are the people that are creating IP, looking 5 to 10 years out, identifying really what's the disruptor, what's the new technology that needs to be incorporated in the long term for a portfolio. Sometimes these are looked as skunk work projects, and sometimes because they're so far out, they don't necessarily get the funding that's required. But if you put a team around it and you incentivize that team to create IP and build early stage innovation, you have pipeline that moves into what becomes a actual product in your product portfolio. And so actually Chris Locke, who's on this call, led that team at Acelity. And I think it's extremely important to make sure that you're seeing that, because innovation, especially in kind of long-term innovation cycles, especially in, say, the healthcare and life sciences world, but in many different industries, you've got to make sure that you get your eye way out on the horizon. But we didn't just necessarily put all R&D folks there. We actually took people that were obviously the scientists and a little bit more towards that technical and IP driven in the early stage, but then people that were product portfolio leaders, people that really understood the use case of a completed product. They partnered up with what we had as global portfolio managers. So you take the marketing teams that look at a global portfolio, competitive landscape, with product engineers that own a product segment. And so what we created was what we call product franchises. It's not a franchise like KFC or anything like that, but a product team that owns that global product portfolio and looks in that sort of 2 to 5 year time horizon and ensures that product is regularly launched, new technologies are launched, and upgrades and whatever it might be. And then the rest of the marketing team is much more closer to the commercial. The shiny brochure was actually linked in on a regional basis with the sales organizations. And so what we did was take two behemoths of organizations and match them up to 5 to 10 years out, 2 to 5 years, and somewhere in the immediate year ahead or so, and created a new organization that matched to the timeline of innovation.